The story of the Majestic and Empire Theaters is really a story about the downtown culture of San Antonio, how the theaters began, why they were originally such a huge success, how they fell into decline, and how they've been reborn parallels how San Antonio, as a great American city, has evolved.
There's a wonderful old Irving Berlin song, "There's No Business Like Show Business," that was written for the Broadway musical Annie Get Your Gun. I've always loved that song, and I think that the Majestic and the Empire have that same kind of special business relationship that exists between theaters and their communities. There's nothing that really excites and inspires people to get dressed up, get out, and go to a restaurant, like attending a wonderful performing arts event. It's just a hallmark of a great city.
The success that the theaters enjoy today is also part of a bigger story, the successful redevelopment of downtown San Antonio. At the end of the 19th century, San Antonio was the largest city in Texas. It was recognized across the nation as an economic hub for the Southwest. The wealthier citizens of San Antonio built beautiful residences near the city center, establishing the King William and Monte Vista neighborhoods.
Along with that history, then are those years of where South Texas was where large ranches and cattle were grown here and moved to markets from South Texas. Our hotels built up, the Minger, the Crockett, the St. Anthony. You can look at these hotels that served as San Antonio bases for large ranches. And in that time of growth, we also saw the building of theaters like the Majestic, the Empire.
The site on which the present-day Charlene McComb's Empire Theater stands has a long history in the arts, dating back to the construction of the Turner Opera House in 1879. The site was subsequently home to Riche's Opera House, the Houston Street Theater, the Alhambra Theater, and the Empire Opera House. In 1914, Thomas Brady used the site to build the Brady Building, along with the beautiful new Empire Theater. When it opened in December of 1914, the Empire Theater was designed to feature opera, vaudeville acts, and the new entertainment craze, silent motion pictures. The theater reflected the opulent grandeur of the growing city. With the advent of talkies in the late 1920s, the Majestic Theater, designed and built by John Eberson, opened just around the corner on Houston Street on Flag Day, June 14, 1929. The Majestic was designed in the trademark atmospheric style, transporting its patrons from the hot, dusty streets of San Antonio into a serene Mediterranean village at twilight.
The Majestic, the fond memories I have of it are many. And that's where, before television, we experienced seeing the week's news right before our eyes, which was amazing before television to be able to do that.
The Majestic was the largest theater in Texas and the first in the state to be fully air-conditioned. With over 4,000 seats, the Majestic welcomed more than 1 million patrons per year, even as the global economy faltered and fell into the Great Depression of the 1930s. The Majestic and the Empire Theaters survived the Great Depression, and an exhilarating surge of energy came to the city with the victory of World War II. Returning soldiers settled down to start families and usher in the baby boomer generation. San Antonio latched on to the housing trend that was sweeping the nation, suburbanization, and the Majestic Theater continued to proudly welcome ever-growing numbers of patrons for first-run feature films. Throughout the 1940s and 1950s, patrons flocked to Houston Street, and the Majestic delivered the latest and greatest hits from Hollywood. As residents continued to move further out into the suburbs, away from downtown San Antonio, the central business district gradually fell into a long pattern of economic decline.
Tremendous suburban growth in San Antonio, and many businesses wanted to move closer to those residential areas, the new residential areas in particular that were being developed. And so the retail just kind of flew out of downtown. Suddenly there were many other competing type venues for entertainment. I think that probably led to the decline of these theaters.
By 1986, along with many other businesses, both venues were closed. Across the nation, historic downtown movie palaces were being razed and demolished. And it seemed that the Majestic and Empire would soon be forgotten and lost forever. In order to bring life back to its historic roots, downtown San Antonio needed compelling attractions for locals and tourists. Where movie palaces had once been in the forefront of urban entertainment, performing arts centers for concerts and touring Broadway productions became the cultural hubs of major cities.
The City Council looked at multiple ways to help revitalize. But you can't revitalize a business unless there are customers. Otherwise, you're just subsidizing. What you needed to do was make it attractive where people chose to come downtown. Ultimately, some business had to come in, make an investment, and then work to make their restaurant, hotel, or in this case, theater, profitable.
In the mid-1980s, San Antonio leaders crafted a plan to renovate the Majestic and Empire theaters using the urban renewal model of adaptive reuse. These historic buildings, cornerstones of the former movie theater district, could be creatively adapted as a new performing arts center to draw audiences to Houston Street once again.
That's what city centers are all about, are having attractions like these theaters that help create the draw and activity and enliven what we do. I think they played that role 50 and 75 years ago when they were originally built.
I think that it goes without saying that the restoration of a historic facility bears with it the kinds of memories and the opportunity for people to relive their personal experiences within the theater that is unique and something that you can't get in a new facility.
San Antonio has always taken great pride in its heritage and its old historic buildings, which is certainly proven by the Alamo, the pride everyone has to go see the Alamo when they come to visit, and our wonderful missions. We're just a special city. We're not like Dallas, we're not like Houston, we're not like Austin, we don't want to be.
The redevelopment of the theaters was the result of a major public, private, and nonprofit effort. First, the city of San Antonio acquired both theaters. Next, Las Casas Foundation, a nonprofit organization, was created to oversee the restoration, bringing together both public, private, and nonprofit initiatives. Finally, Arts Center Enterprises, a theater management company, was to oversee the day-to-day operations of the theaters.
The relationship between Las Casas, Arts Center Enterprises, and the City of San Antonio is a very successful profit, not-for-profit relationship that has allowed very successfully for our two theaters to operate since 1989 without costing the City of San Antonio a penny. Arts Center Enterprises brings to the table an expertise at running a theater, at attracting the proper kinds of entertainment for the theaters and attracting the proper kinds of performing arts.
The restoration was carried out in 3 phases. The first major step was the restoration and conversion of the Majestic Theatre from a movie theater to a new performing arts facility.
To me, it was terribly important that we prove that we can resurrect our past and make something positive happen. So in 11 months, we did turn that around, and we did manage to restore the Majestic. And it was not only important to San Antonians, but to all of South Texas to preserve this incredible building.
The Majestic reopened as a multi-purpose venue in 1989, becoming the home for the highly acclaimed San Antonio Symphony, a touring Broadway series, and showcasing a wide variety of theatrical and musical performances. In order to complete the transformation from an old movie house to a state-of-the-art performance center, the Majestic required more space. The stage, originally designed for movies and vaudeville acts, was not deep enough for the massive sets and technical sophistication that these musicals entailed. Fortunately, the plan to adapt both theaters as a performing arts center offered a fabulous solution. Both adjoined a third building, the Little Brady Building. The second phase of the restoration used the Little Brady Building as an addition, moving a wall to expand the Majestic stage. Now, both theaters could be connected through the same dressing rooms, and additional office and storage space was available. This allowed large productions the added room that they needed for sets and wardrobe, and gave San Antonio a multi-purpose performing arts center that preserved part of downtown's historic character. The third phase of the project was the restoration of the Empire Theatre, which reopened in 1998 as the Charlene McCombs Empire Theatre. The restored theater's seats were arranged on flexible risers, which could also hold banquet or cabaret tables, making the venue suitable for public speakers, intimate musical performances, comedy acts, corporate dinners, and private events. Its connection to the Majestic Theatre creates a larger performing arts center from two previously unused and outdated venues. With urban redevelopment in full swing and the theaters drawing visitors to downtown and attracting additional restaurants, hotels, shops, and condominiums, San Antonio is again a thriving urban center for the Southwest. The Majestic and Charlene McCombs Empire Theaters, secure in their place in the city's history, are also playing a role in the city's future. The beautifully restored theaters usher new generations into the arts with a variety of performances. Something for everyone.
We every day get the opportunity to talk to people who remember their first movie at the Majestic Theatre, or remember their first date at the Majestic Theatre, or remember the first time they looked up at the clouds and the stars sparkling in the ceiling, or remember the first time they took their kids to the theater and the kids saw the indoor sky for the first time. And so it's that kind of historic memory that you just don't get when you build a new building.
Originally the pride of the city for their size, their opulence, and their place in the forefront of the movie house boom, they are now shining examples of the urban revitalization movement.
Probably the most thrilling thing to me is to have, almost without exception, every artist step out on the stage, look around at the magic, and say, wow, this is really a splendid place for me to be.
The people of San Antonio are rightfully proud of their colorful cultural heritage. Their success in preserving the Majestic and Charlene McCombs Empire Theaters celebrates the past, the present, and the future with every night the curtain rises downtown.